नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So anyone remembers last session what we had discussed? इसको याद है? कोई शेयर करना चाहेगा? What was last session was about?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Last session was about the uh, four things, whether Jivan, Shanti, Shuk, spiritual growth, and the role of a woman in the society.
Yes.
And we also talked about purification of the society, which is also been discussed here.
How the destruction of the family take place, how dynasty get destroyed, and Arjuna gave the reason that family destruction, family tradition will be destroyed because of this war. Basically, Arjuna, he presents 5 reasons of not fighting. First 4 reasons he presents in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and fifth reason comes in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So what are the 4 reasons? First reason was compassion. Arjuna's compassion for all the living entities, either on this side of the war or opposite party war, opposite side, both the side people will be killed. That was his argument. So he didn't want to participate in such massacre or such violence. He didn't want. So that was the first reason, is compassion. Second reason was he will not be able to enjoy the kingdom. What is the use? Even if he wins the war, there will be no one with whom he can enjoy the kingdom. So that was his second reason of not to fight. Second reason was he will not be happy. And third reason was the destruction of the family tradition will take place. Family dynasty and family will be destroyed. So he didn't want it to fight. Now, today we'll understand the fourth reason. Fourth reason is fear of sin. He was fearful of getting sin for this killing of the people or destruction of the family. So we'll chant the verse. I'll share. Verse number will be starting is 44th till 43rd we completed. That Arjuna was just explaining. I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family tradition dwells always in hell. That was his reason of not to fight. Now we'll be chanting this, continuing from the 44th verse. We'll be chanting this verse. You can repeat after me. Aho bata maha papam कर्तुं व्यवस्थिता स्वयं यद्राज्य सुख लोभेन हन्तुं स्वजन्म उदायतः. So anyone would like to chant? कोई chant करना चाहेगा श्लोक को, वर्स को? Please try. Yes, anyone would like to try? कीजिए, ट्राई कीजिए. No one, huh? Okay, no worries. We'll continue with translation. Arjuna is saying, alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. Purport: driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. We'll continue next verse also, then we'll try to understand. Yadi mam अप्रतिकारम् अशास्त्रं शस्त्रपाणया तत्राष्ट्ररणे हन्युस् तन्मे क्षेमातरं भवेत्. Translation: I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed and unresisting, rather than fighting with them. Purport: it is custom according to Kshatriya fighting principles that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, in such an enigmatic position, decided he would not fight if he were attacked by the enemy. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Very important verses, also, very nice verses for us to understand various things, especially this 44th. In this, Arjuna is mentioning that how strange it is that just by the desire of gaining the royal kingdom or royal happiness, that we are prepared to commit such sinful acts. We are prepared to fight. We are prepared to lay down the lives of others. These all are sinful activities. Killing his own kinsmen, destroying the family tradition, all these are sinful activities. So Arjuna, he is very concerned about this incurring the sin. पाप से उसे बहुत ज्यादा भय हो चुका है. He is fearing that will get the sin of fighting this war, because this war will lead to the destruction, killing of various people, destroying of the family tradition. So this is not good. Just for royal happiness, just for the sake of royal happiness, just for the sake of getting kingdom, we should not fight this war. This is what Arjuna is expressing his views. So very important thing to understand here is people across the world, everyone is hankering for more and more wealth, property, bank balance. Everyone is hankering for such happiness. Everyone wants that. But Arjuna here is expressing that it is of no use. It is of no use to commit such sinful acts to enjoy this happiness. So what happens that Arjuna, he is denying such royal happiness, whereas Duryodhana, he is not at all ready to leave this kind of happiness. Not at all ready. What is the difference? The difference is of greed, lobh, attachment, asakti. Greed is such a thing that it can induce anyone or any individual to commit greatest of the sin. he can commit greatest of the sin. In the past history, lot of warriors, lot of kingdoms, lot of wars has been fought just to satisfy the greed. Greed means what? Lalach. I want more. Today I have this much. I want to make it more and more. In this connection, one nice story I'll try to narrate. Once there was a sadhu. He was going through one village, passing through one village. So he visited one person. He was well-to-do, very established, rich person. But the thing was, when he visited him, he was not very happy. He was not very happy. He was some kind of anxiety was there. So this sadhu, this saintly person, he asked, why you are worrying about? For what reason you are worrying? What is the reason of your worry? Why you are not happy? He asked him. So this person, he told that I have everything that one can enjoy, but still I am not feeling happy or satisfied. What could be the reason? He asked to this saintly person, to this sadhu. So this sadhu, he says, the reason of your unhappiness or your anxiety is your possession. The things that you possess, the wealth you possess, that is the reason of your being unhappiness. Whereas next to your place, there is a poor person. Come, I'll show you. He shows that poor person. See how happy or content and satisfied he is. Just see him. So this rich person, he observes that he is so satisfied, so happy, so content. Even though he has nothing, but still he is happy. So this person, he feels how it can be possible. And just to check this sadhu understanding, or you can say his the points that he has shared, that because of your possession or wealth you are unhappy or you are unsatisfied, what he does, he give 99 rupees to this poor person. He gave very anonymously. He kept it and came back that nobody could see him. So he placed 99 rupees. So next day he observes that this poor person, he had not lit up the fire. Chula nahi jalaya. He has not lit up the fire to cook the food. Today he has not cooked the food. And he has slept without eating the food, without having the food. So next day morning, he approaches this sadhu and narrate the entire incident. And this sadhu tell, let us go and ask this poor person itself. What is the reason behind not cooking the food and not having the food? So as soon as they ask, why you are not cooked your food yesterday night? Why didn't you had a food? So he told, I got 99 rupees. Now I wanted to save money so that I can make it 100. I can acquire 1 rupee and I can make it 100. So what I was doing, I was fasting for alternative days. Like yesterday I didn't had food, today I will had food, tomorrow I will not had food. So like this I will save few annas, and by that I'll make 1 rupee and save it to make it 100 rupees. Now this rich person, he understood how this money has contaminated, how this money or greed has contaminated to him, that he want to enjoy more and more, he want to accumulate more and more money. So he understood what sadhu was meant to tell him. that already you have so much possession, you want more and more for yourself. So that is the cause of your anxiety, your unhappiness. Then, by the instruction of that sadhu, he uh, gave away lot of unnecessary things, lot of his wealth in the charity, and by that he became very happy. So that is very important thing to understand, that this greed can destroy our peace, our happiness, to the extent that we may induce to commit sinful activities, which is happening all around the world. Out of greed, people are ready to kill their own family members. Prabhupada mentions they are ready to kill their own family members. So, in fact, Krishna, as a Vaman Dev, he says very nice thing about the greed. What he is saying? Yavanto Vishaya Prashthas Trailokyam Trailokyam Ajitindriyam Trilokyam, three lokas. Our Ajitindriyam means Indriya plus Ajitim. If we have not conquered our Indriyas, senses, even these three lokas will be insufficient. This three planetary system will be insufficient for us to be happy. He's telling this to Bali Maharaj, O king, even the entire world, whatever there is in three world, will not satisfy one's senses, whose senses are uncontrolled. And when senses are uncontrolled, he is not satisfied, there is no peace. And when there is no peace, Krishna says there is no happiness. Further, we'll see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says greed is the one of the cause and one of the gateway to hellish planets. So that is destructive this greed is. And the thing is, this greed is in everyone. It is in each one of our heart. In my heart, your heart, everyone is having this greed. The extent may be different. Suppose I have 10%, you may have 5%. Another person may have 20%. Somebody 50%. But everyone is having. The extent may be different. Level, different degrees. But everyone is greedy. So what is the solution to this? This is also known as one of the disease. Greed is one of the disease of material existence. What is the solution? Solution is to engage in Krishna service or rendering seva to the Lord. That is the solution to get free from this greed. Otherwise, this greed will eat away our existence, will further fall down, further and further will degrade, will fall down. So that is greed, and we have to be very, 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 very careful to not get greedy. Every moment we have to be careful, especially regarding this greediness. We have to be vigilant. If we are able to be free from greed, it is a great success. It is a great success. So further, next verse, Arjuna is telling that it is better for me that if the son of Dhritarashtra's, they will kill me unarmed and unresisting rather than fighting with them. So here, if we analyze, we can understand that Arjuna is expressing his suicidal thought. How it is suicidal? He is telling that I will not take weapon in my hand. Even I am unarmed. I will not resist. Let them kill me. Let them kill me. I will not take the arms, Shastra. I will not take it up. Let them kill me. What is the use of this war? Just for royal happiness, we are going to commit such sinful act. What is the use? Let me die unarmed. Let me die. Whereas the Kshatriya code of conducts or the Kshatriya dharma, what it says, we cannot kill another person if he is unarmed. We cannot kill. If he is unarmed, we have to supply him arm. We have to supply him shastra so that he will take up shastra and then we can fight. Suppose he has lost his chariot, so another opposite party should also get down from the chariot and he should fight. On foot, he should fight. If another opponent is also on foot, he should fight on foot. He should not attack from behind. He should always first inform him, yes, today, like now, I am going to attack you. Like that, he should inform him, then further he should fight. So there are a lot of such Kshatriya's code of conduct or dharma. Whereas Arjuna is telling, they are so much blind, or they have bent too much for the sake of this royal happiness, for the sake of this kingdom, that they will not even be considered about following this dharma. They will even ready to kill me unarmed. And I am also ready to get killed by them. Apratikaram, I will not resist. I will not take, pratikara from them. I will not take any pratikara from them. Ashastram, without any weapon, I am ready to die. Whether I am prepared, I am not prepared, let them kill me. But this is not right as per Kshatriya code of conduct. This is not at all right. One must be equipped with the weapons when he is fighting with the opponent. Because Arjuna, he was not willing to fight. He was not willing to kill his kinsmen. He is telling, let them only kill me. I shall prefer to fight and die in this war rather than to kill my own kinsmen. And this is because Arjuna is soft-hearted by nature. He is free from greed. He is soft-hearted by nature, and that is the lakshana. That is the symptom of a devotee. One who is free from lust, greed, and anger is considered to be a person possessing the highest quality. And how one can possess such highest quality? By becoming a devotee. In previous verse we had read, one becomes the devotee, unalloyed devotion, undivided devotion. He can become the greatest of the devotee and he can acquire the highest qualities. He can acquire the greatest qualities. Right? So that is the. So we'll read further 46th verse. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Arjuna Sankhe Rathopastha Upavishrat Vishrajya Saram Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasaha. Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. But while observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again. setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self knowledge. So, how this thing we started, I'll summarize also here. First, Dhritarashtra asked to Sanjaya about what is happening on the battlefield. And Duryodhana further he observes the army on the battlefield. He approached Dronacharya. He expressed what is happening and who all are there in the battlefield in his party, in another's opponent party. Like that, he is analyzing, observing the army, Duryodhana. Further, they started blowing conch shell to give a cheer to this Duryodhana. Bhishma started, then further Krishna, Arjuna, everyone started blowing their respective conch shells. After blowing of conch shell, Arjuna was ready, prepared with his bow and arrow. And his bow was given by Agnidev, Gandiva. He was ready to shoot an arrow upon the enemy. Before shooting the arrow, he asked Krishna, take my chariot and in between the both of the armies, take my chariot between both the armies. Let me see who has come here to satisfy the evil-minded Duryodhana, who has come to satisfy. So like this, Arjuna addressed. And this Krishna, what he does, he is being a chariot driver, he is a charioteer. What he does, he takes the chariot and take chariot in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma. And very promptly he says, now you observe the army. Behold this great army of Arjuna. So by seeing Bhishma and Drona, his heart get shaken up. His mouth is drying. His body is shivering. His skin is burning. All such symptoms he is going through by seeing Bhishma and Drona. A moment before he was ready to fight, but seeing Bhishma and Drona, his heart is shaken. His determination is shaken. How I can kill all these respectable people? They are my grandfather. So 10 types of relatives is mentioned how I can kill them. They are worthy of worshipping, especially Dronacharya, Guru, spiritual master, and grandfather like Bhishma. They are all worthy of worshipping. So he start giving various reasons not to fight. But why Krishna took only in front of Bhishma and Drona? He could have taken in front of Duryodhana, in front of other Kauravas. Arjuna would have burnt with fire to fight. But Krishna, he took in front of Bhishma and Drona particularly. So Acharyas, they explain why Krishna did like that. Why Krishna took in front of Bhishma and Drona only. Because he wanted Arjuna to get free from all such weaknesses. To get free from all such his weaknesses in the heart or his fear in the heart. He wanted Arjuna to become strong. Otherwise, in between battle, he would not have gathered sufficient courage to fight and to kill them and to win the battle. And especially, all such instances happens in our life also, so that we can make jigyasa, we can make inquiries. Athato Brahma jigyasa, because this human life is meant for inquiries. Jivasya tattva jignasa, to inquire about the absolute truth is what this life is meant for. So we also come across various difficulties in our life, various challenges in our life. For what reason? For what purpose? So that we can make inquiries, we can learn from it, and we can understand what is our position and what we are supposed to do, how we are supposed to come out of this existence of birth and death, how we can come out and come out to where? Gatva nanivartante. Where you go, that is spiritual world, to the place abode of Krishna, where there is full of happiness, full of knowledge, full of eternity. That place. So that is the reason Krishna, he brought the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona. Now further he gives various reasons. Arjuna presents his reasons of not to fight. Now here, after giving all such reasons, now Arjuna, he has kept aside his bow and arrow, and he has out of like hopelessness, he has sat down on the chariot. Few moments before he was ready to fight, now he has left his bow, left his arrows, he is just sitting on the chariot, and his mind is completely filled with grief, full of pain, full of grief. And Prabhupada says, such a soft hearted person is the right person, is fit to receive the self knowledge. Why particularly Prabhupada says as a self knowledge? Self knowledge means what? Self knowledge means knowledge about the self, who we are. That is the first thing to understand. When we have understood who we are, then in that relation we'll understand to whom we belong. That is also a part of self knowledge. So knowledge of the self is includes the entire knowledge. Knowledge about Ishvara, knowledge about Prakriti, knowledge about Kala, everything is included in the knowledge of the self. And knowing self and acting on that self is what is spirituality. Spirituality is knowing the self and acting on the same platform. That is spirituality. So very nice. This first chapter was. Next session onwards, we'll begin either with second chapter or we'll just take a question answer session or a quiz on this first chapter, that I'll inform you. If anyone has any question or anything to share, please feel free to share or ask. If anyone has any question. Very wonderful thing that we learned today about is greed. How this greed can bring the destruction. There is a comment. Please share thoughts on controlling anger, frustration. In our job, we are grilled to be greed. How one can balance this? Yes, very important thing, especially when we are dealing with people surrounding us, because everyone is not same. Everyone has different desires, different mindset. So it becomes very difficult to free from anger. Some person he is acting against our wish, we become very anger, we lose our control, we become very frustrated. So very important thing when we come across such situation, especially anger, is we should remember that more than that person being harmed from the anger will be harmed. उसे ज्यादा नुकसान होने से ज्यादा हमें ज्यादा नुकसान होगा उस एंगर से. Why? Because in further in Bhagavad Gita we'll see that how anger, it destroys the ability to think. It leads to memory destruction, lose of memory. When all such thing happens, our intelligence is lost. We'll take decision out of some, you know, some facts which are visible, very gross things will be able to see, not subtle, will not be able to see the things at minute level. There was one pastime in the Mahabharata. In very short, I'll tell this pastime. There were two brothers, and these two brothers were like, we can kill anyone for each other. We can take anyone's life for each other. That much depth their relation was. That much love there was for each other. But what happened? One Apsara was sent, I think by Brahma or by Indras or some demigod. They sent one Apsara, and both brother, they started liking this Apsara. They got so much mad after this Apsara. They got so much attached to this Apsara that they even killed each other out of anger. That leave this Apsara is for me. And this another brother is telling, no, this Apsara is for me. Both got very angry at each other, and they forget even that we are brothers and our relationship is so deep. There was a point of time when we used to kill people if there is some harm to any one of us. Now we are killing each other, so they lost the memory even that we are the brothers. So anger is always destructive. So one of the way is this one, and there is another way to control the anger. What is that? When we chant this Hare Krishna mantra, automatically all the senses, especially this anger, automatically start getting controlled. We no need to put effort. Automatically, all these anarthas, all this anger, frustration will get controlled. We'll start understanding the situation in detail. And along with chanting, when we read this Bhagavad Gita, that helps a lot, even more. That help us to understand what is the background of anything to happen, any situation, any object, any people around us. What is the intention? What is the background behind that scene or whatever situation it is? So when we are in knowledge, will not act with anger. But when there is no such knowledge, we'll act with anger. We'll easily lose our temper. So that's why chanting is very important. Doing any seva is very important. When we do seva to the Lord, all these divine qualities automatically manifest in ourselves. And regarding this greed, if you see, our Vedic system was designed in such a way, we used to be free from all these anarthas like greed, lust, anger, frustration. All these things automatically we get free. Especially like greed. What was the concept? As soon as you get something, first offer to your Guru or Krishna. First offer it to the Lord. Then you take from that. Then you take it, your portion. In further, we'll see this aspect of this thing in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains. यज्ञार्था कर्मणो नित्रा लोको यम कर्म बंधना तदर्थम कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संग समाचरा. He is asking Arjuna, Arjuna, you perform the yagnas, sacrifice for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Doing that, you will be free from all the bondage. All these things are what? These things are bondage in this material world. This anger, this lust, this greed, this all these things keep us into this material world. So Krishna is telling, when you perform the yagna for his satisfaction, and what is the yagna? Any act, any action, whatever you do, when you do for the satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu, that becomes the yagna. Suppose you eat, you offer that food to Krishna, it becomes prasadam, that is yagna. Suppose you earn, you offer some earning of your this thing hard work to Krishna, that becomes prasadam, that becomes yagna. Suppose you speak about Krishna, that becomes yagna. You hear something, you hear about Krishna. You read something, you read about Krishna. So any such act when we do for the pleasure of Krishna, suppose we want to go some places, holidays, you go to the holy place of Krishna, holy dham, that becomes yagna. So whenever we do any action for the pleasure of Krishna or Vishnu, that becomes the yagna. And when we perform such yagnas, we become the free from all this bondage of anger, lust, greed, whatever it is. We become from all free from all the miseries. And when that happens, we become dear to Krishna. We become dear to Krishna, or a perfect gentleman. Any other question or anything to ask? Okay, and we'll close here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Close here.
Thank you,
ठीक.
Prabhu.